You wake up at 2 in the morning with a dry mouth and you don't think twice about it. Coffee goes down black. Lunch passes without a single glass of water. By late afternoon, you've gone almost the whole day empty, so you finally pour a tall glass and drain it in seconds. Then another. Hours later, you stand up from the sofa and the room tilts. Your thinking is foggy. Your energy dies before dinner. If you're over 50, this is not normal aging. It is the signature of a mistake hiding inside your body, and it is not the mistake you've been warned about your whole life. It isn't simply that you drink too little. It's something narrower, something quietly engineered by your own body, and by the time this video ends, you will know exactly what it is and exactly how to disarm it. Here's what almost nobody explains. 2 things change in your body after 50, and both happen in total silence. First, your thirst alarm gets quieter. Second, your kidneys lose their ability to hold on to water. Each change on its own is survivable. Together, they set a trap that millions of people over 50 walk into every single day without noticing, because the failure masquerades as normal aging. Fatigue, forgetfulness, dizziness, constipation, dry skin, we file these under getting older. But in thousands of cases, they are the fingerprints of a body running low on water for months at a time. Let's start with the thirst alarm, because this is the part that surprises people the most. Thirst isn't a habit, and it isn't a vague feeling. It's a precise biological signal generated by sensors deep in the brain that constantly measure the concentration of your blood. When water levels drop, those sensors fire, and you feel the urge to drink. In a 25-year-old, that system is remarkably accurate. But in controlled experiments, when older and younger people were dehydrated to the exact same degree, something striking happened. The older group reported far less thirst. They drank less when water was placed right in front of them, and they took hours longer to replace what they had lost. Their bodies were just as dehydrated as the younger groups. Their brains simply never announced it. The most important hydration warning system you own has over the decades been quietly turned down. Now, the second half of the problem, and this one is even easier to miss, because it has nothing to do with how thirsty you feel. It's about what your kidneys do with water once it arrives. One of their main jobs is conservation. When your body runs short on fluid, the kidneys concentrate your urine and recycle water back into your blood.
Here's the uncomfortable part. Measured in the lab, maximum urine concentrating ability declines by roughly 20% between the ages of 60 and 79. Translated into everyday life, your kidneys leak more water than they did at 30, and nothing in your body compensates. Now put the two halves together. A muted thirst alarm tells you not to drink. Kidneys that can't concentrate drain you faster. The result is a slow, silent shortfall that compounds for days, weeks, even months. And you never feel a single moment of it happening. So what does that shortfall actually do? This is where the conversation stops being abstract. Mild dehydration makes your blood slightly thicker and less efficient at delivering oxygen. It slows digestion and firms up stool. One major reason constipation becomes so common after 50. It concentrates the urine, which raises the risk of kidney stones and urinary tract infections.
It drops blood volume, so blood pressure falls when you stand. And that dizziness is a leading cause of falls, fractures, and hospital admissions in older adults. And here's the most overlooked effect of all. Dehydration mimics the symptoms of cognitive decline. Confusion, brain fog, sluggish thinking, even changes in mood and personality. Emergency rooms regularly see older patients arrive with suspected confusion or even a possible stroke. And the blood test reveals the real culprit, a body quietly dehydrated. Rehydrate them, and the confusion often evaporates within hours, a condition that was never properly diagnosed because nobody thought to look for it. There's another layer to this trap, and it catches people who believe they're doing everything right. Your water reserve is smaller than it used to be. Total body water declines steadily with age, largely because muscle, which is about 75% water, gradually gives way to tissue that holds much less. An older body carries less fluid per pound than the same body did at 30, so a shortfall a younger person shrugs off becomes a real problem at 65. And here's a confession many of you will recognize. A lot of people over 50 drink less on purpose. They're tired of the trips to the bathroom. They ration water before bed or through the whole day to avoid the disruption. The intention is completely understandable. The trade-off is exactly backwards, because every skipped glass moves you closer to the very thing you're trying to avoid: the dizziness, the brain fog, the falls. The answer to nighttime waking is not less water during the day. It's the opposite: plenty of fluid early in the day and less in the final hours before bed. You don't stop drinking. You just move the drinking. Now, if you're one of the people who carries a bottle everywhere and never misses your 8 glasses, stay with me, because the next part is aimed directly at you. There is a second opposite mistake, and it may surprise you more than anything so far. Drinking a large volume of plain water in a short window does not hydrate you the way you expect. Your gut can only absorb so much fluid at once, and your kidneys process water at a fixed rate. Anything beyond that rate doesn't settle into your cells. It runs through your bladder and out, mostly wasted. Worse, those big volumes of plain water dilute something you cannot afford to lose: sodium. Sodium isn't just the salty taste in your food. It's the electrolyte that helps your body hold water where it belongs, inside your cells. And it's essential for your nerves and muscles to fire correctly. When you flood your system with plain water faster than your kidneys can excrete it, blood sodium falls. The medical name is hyponatremia. Cells begin to swell, and when brain cells swell, the consequences are serious: headache, nausea, confusion, muscle weakness and cramping, and in severe cases, seizures. Older adults are far more vulnerable than younger people because their kidneys are already slower to clear the excess. This is a real medical emergency, and it sends thousands of people to hospital every year, most of them convinced they were doing the right thing by drinking so much water in the first place. Let's clear up one more myth while we're here, because it quietly shapes how people over 50 drink or don't. For decades, coffee was treated as a dehydrator, something that canceled out water. That belief is wrong. In a well-designed study published in PLOS One, men who drank moderate coffee throughout the day showed no evidence of dehydration at all. Coffee, consumed in moderation, hydrates about as well as water. So, your morning cup is not a water thief. What actually dehydrates you is alcohol, which suppresses the hormone your body uses to hold onto water. And it's why a heavy night leaves you parched no matter how much water you chase it with. So yes, enjoy the coffee. Just don't ask it to replace water, because it won't fix the quiet trap we talked about earlier. And now, the layer almost nobody mentions, the one that may be the most important thing I say in this entire video. A large share of the most common prescriptions taken after 50 actively drain fluid from your body. Diuretics, often called water pills, are prescribed for high blood pressure and heart failure, and they work by forcing the kidneys to flush out water and sodium. Laxatives do something similar. Several diabetes medications increase fluid loss because high blood sugar pulls water out of your tissues. Even common over-the-counter pain relievers, taken regularly, can stress the kidneys. Now do the arithmetic. You're running on a weakened thirst signal. You have kidneys that leak faster. And a pill you take every single morning pushes even more fluid out. That combination deserves a conversation, a real one. Ask your doctor or pharmacist whether anything you take has a dehydrating effect, and if it does, how much extra fluid you should be accounting for. Most people over 50 have never had that conversation in their lives, yet it changes the hydration math completely. So what does correct hydration actually look like after 50? Not heroic chugging, not 8 glasses forced down like a chore. For a target, the National Academy of Medicine suggests about 13 cups of total fluid a day for men 51 and older, and about 9 cups for women. And remember, food counts toward that number. But the mechanics matter more than the math. Rule 1, stop waiting for thirst. If you're over 50, thirst is the last signal you should trust. Anchor water to things you already do a glass when you wake. 1 with each meal, 1 in the middle of the afternoon. Small, regular sips, spread across the day. Beat 1 dramatic bottle at 5 o'clock, every single time. Rule 2, front load your fluids. Do most of your drinking during daylight hours and taper off in the evening, so you aren't trading dehydration for a night of broken sleep. Rule 3. Use the free test you already have. Urine color. Pale yellow means you're in range. Dark amber means you're behind. So drink more steadily over the next few hours, not all at once. Deep brown with a strong odor means take it seriously, and if it persists, involve a doctor. Rule 4. Don't hydrate with water alone. Electrolytes matter more with every decade because they're what pull water into your cells, and you don't need fancy powders. You need minerals from real food, potassium from potatoes, bananas, spinach, and beans, magnesium from nuts, seeds, and leafy greens, sodium in reasonable amounts from broths and natural foods. And Rule 5. Be honest about your situation. Heat, fever, diarrhea, a long flight, a heavy day of physical work, these aren't footnotes. They're events that multiply your fluid needs overnight. One final warning, because it protects you from the opposite error. If you have heart disease, kidney disease, or you take diuretics, do not dramatically change your fluid intake on your own. The safe range is different for you, and getting it wrong in either direction carries real risk. Ask, adjust, let a professional help you set your number. That isn't weakness. It's exactly the kind of precision this stage of life demands. So here's what to remember. The hydration mistake of people over 50 is not the one you hear about. It isn't simply drinking too little, and it is certainly not solved by forcing down more plain water. The real failure is trusting signals that have gone quiet, with kidneys that leak, under medications that drain, and then trying to fix all of it with one large glass at the end of the day. Your body is running a different equation now than it did at 30. Learn the new math. Drink early. Sip steadily. Eat your minerals. Watch the color of your urine. And above all, never wait for thirst to tell you when it's time. The people who stay sharp, steady on their feet, and full of energy well past 70 are very often the ones who simply understood one quiet truth. By the time you feel the thirst, your body has already been asking for hours. It was never asking for more water. It was asking for the right water, at the right time, on a schedule your body stopped being able to set for itself. That's the lesson, and it's one you can start acting on right now with the glass that's been sitting beside you this whole time. If this video changed how you think about your body even slightly, the next one on this channel could change your year. So make sure you're subscribed with notifications on, because the health decisions that matter most after 50 are exactly the ones they never teach you anywhere else.